Good morning, Roll Gang. Welcome on in, come on in to this Fuck Yeah Friday edition of the Weekday Wake and Bake. Come on in, come join. We are about to talk about some random shit here on this Friday. That's basically what we do on Fuck Yeah Friday. But first, major congrats, everybody. You guys have made it through another week of Weekday Wake and Bakes, another week of life. It is absolutely great to see you guys here this Fuck Yeah Friday morning. I am super excited to get started here on this episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. I'm going to basically talk about some random shit. You can see I'm donning my Chris Johnson, the throwback, because I'm going to talk about the draft that I went to. I went and attended my first ever NFL draft yesterday. I left without a major piece of my heart, but I'm very optimistic for the future still. But we'll get on into that when we get on into this episode. So thank you all for joining Roll Gang. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys are all the shit, tapping in on the Rolling Spoon pages. I'm Processus Guy here with another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. It is so great to see you here every weekday morning, 8 a.m. so that we can just, break down some herb in our beautiful grinder, roll it up nice and perfect with a rolling spoon, and smoke and chat it up with you guys, because that's what we like to do here on the Weekday Wake and Bake. If you could on Facebook or Twitter, just share the stream, because sharing is caring. And if you're on Facebook, it takes a share now to public, and then we pop up on all of your friends' news feeds so that maybe we can sesh with them too. But anyways, let's get rolling here. I'm super antsy. Shout out Tony Fashion. Let's go. Good morning, Tony Fashion. One of the best artists on the West Coast here, tapping in. Make sure I gotta get our guy on the show here soon. Get him. Good morning, Ford Dandy. It is absolutely you here this morning. You always bring a smile to my face. It is great to see you here. We're breaking down the herb. You know how it is here on the Weekday Wake and Bake. The first thing I wanted to talk with you guys about actually kind of has a little bit to do with smoking herb itself. I wanted to touch on the importance of the even distribution whenever we're rolling joints or blunts, because whenever you have an even distribution, that is the only way that you can avoid runs every time. It's of superb importance to make sure that your herb is aligned properly throughout your joint paper, because a joint is essentially a straw, right? It's essentially a straw with weed in it, and instead of pulling liquid through the straw, you're pulling fire. And you don't want it to pull too fast, but you don't want it to pull too slow and go out. And you certainly don't want it to run. If you guys smoke a good amount of pot, you've definitely dealt with your fair share of runs, as have I, whenever smoking runs, canoes, whatever you call them. It's whenever you're pulling the ember through one part, like a half of the joint, because the airflow on the inside is allowing you to pull air easier with less resistance from one part of the joint. So how to make positive that doesn't happen. Yeah, for Dandy, run, because the other half of the joint that isn't burning is it's gone. You don't get to smoke that anymore. You ash it out in the ashtray. It's burning off into the air. As per usual, the way that I'm going to ensure I get no runs is by using my rolling spoon here. The first part is scooping to get the dosage the same throughout the entire drain edge to align the cannabis to guarantee that you won't get any runs in your smoke. So I'm gonna scoop herb in a point. Make sure that it has generally even distribution, uber importance. And then I'm gonna take the straight edge and I'm just going to push my line of herb. And you can see here that now this distribution is perfectly even. And now that the same amount of herb is here as here as here, what we want to do is fold it up, match both corners kind of as if we're folding the paper. And then come in here with the straight edge one more time and